Hello, everyone. So, the big news of the week is our very first look at Velocitron Black Convoy. Not Scourge, not Nemesis Prime, Black Convoy specifically. And it's a confusing name choice, but hopefully at some point in this video that will kind of get explained, or at least I will have my own theory on it. Now, there's a lot of weird buzz and there's a lot of weird discussion going on about this video, so why not throw my opinion into the chaos, because why not at this point? So for starters, we're going to look at the toy and then we're going to go into the dirty parts of this. So this did come from a thief, so you know where it came from, but you can see the vehicle mode is pretty faithful to the original. There's a bit of a change up around the front end of the vehicle, just a little bit of different line pattern for that metallic teal. But everything else looks pretty spot on to the original Black Convoy, right down to the translucent pink for the windshields. So all of this looks fine. This is all fine. And then we get into the robot mode, and this is where we kind of start to take a little bit of issue. Now, for starters, let me see if I can get a good, like, full body shot here. Where is it? 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 Yeah, that'll do. So if we're looking at the full body here, we can actually see that, yes, it is definitely a Black Optimus Prime, but a Black Convoy it is not. We can already see there's a ton of translucent pink exposed on the raised shoulders. That is because of A, it's where the headlights are, and B, it's where the it's where the missile pods are. Which I don't think missiles should be translucent in the first place, because I never saw a glass missile before. Yeah, it's a weird choice here, and it's I don't know. They did a better job covering it on the Laser Optimus release. I don't know why they left all that bare translucent pink there. It's a weird choice. Weirder choice is we've got translucent pink windows on the chest, which is not a Black Convoy thing, and we've got a lot of black. Actually, considering the name is Black Convoy, you kind of surprised. Like it's actually kind of weird here when you actually think about it. Like there's really not that much black on the original toy in the robot mode. So a TFW 2005 user by the name of C16 was nice enough to actually Photoshop this toy to look like the original Black Convoy. And you can see it's a night and day difference. The color tones are the same, but the layout is completely different. And you start to get the impression of it when you actually see them side by side. I mean, there's no translucence on the chest because that Scourge, Scourge, RID Scourge, we know him, didn't have a window chest. That was kind of like a defining difference between him and Optimus. Well, at least the original Optimus design. The RID was a little bit weird. But you can also see the areas on the shoulders that were originally, that sticker detail. You can see, of course, the pink is all completely covered up. Even in the midsection is completely different, where, the abs are unpainted. The grill in the chest is and the belly is unpainted compared to this new version. It's a little bit more clear to me that now keep in mind, there's always room for. I'm not. Let's get this out of the way first. I'm not saying the new one looks bad, okay? Because the black and the gray and the metallic teal, that's gonna look good no matter what. I am a little bit thrown off by all the translucent pink that I think is unnecessary to leave exposed. Beyond that, it doesn't look bad. What I'm saying is there's a lot of discord going on right now because they did a brand new take on G2 Laser Optimus, and they're not using the most obvious repaint in the book that is one of the most popular repaints for fans. They're not doing an A to A comparison. You could say it's overplayed. During Titan's Return, and you get a Legends Scourge. It was actually really, really good. You can also get the G2 laser, the deluxe G2 Laser Prime they did for Generations. That is available in Nemesis. Well, not Nemesis, but Scourge colors. But this would have been the first time we'd have gotten a modern take on the original RID Scourge properly, trailer and all. And for some reason, we got this instead. When I look at it, it makes me think more of the Nemesis Prime color schemes they use for G1 Optimus Primes. But there's a reason why those divert so different, in such a different direction than RID Scourge. For starters, the vehicle mode has to be all black, which means all this exposed red on a G1 Optimus Prime needs to turn black. That's just a requirement of the color scheme. The benefit of the original RID Scourge is that the robot mode itself has so much exposed plastic that was never visible in the vehicle mode, so you have basically a blank canvas to do whatever you will with it and make it look a little bit more interesting. But this is specifically done the way they do G1 Optimus Primes into Nemesis Prime, right down to the translucent red in the windshield. Well, pink in this case. But they do that because there's a necessity to it. The front chest has to be the windshield in the vehicle mode. So the reason that it diverges is because, the toy wouldn't work any other way. But it's confusing why we got it here when we had a proper RID Scourge that everyone was expecting. And it's put me in a bad mindset. Now, this can be completely cynical of me. This can be completely negative. I don't normally like being negative here. I don't, that's really like, despite me being the plastic addict guy, I kind of like to promote, being positive in Transformers and enjoying them for what they are. The whole point of Plastic Addict is to show you what a really bad Transformer really is, so you might better appreciate the ones that you come out and trash because a color is wrong or an accessory is missing. Those things don't really matter in the long run. It's still a good toy, comparatively. So I try to be more positive. Like, that's the goal here. But I do have a very cynical thought on this particular situation. I'm still in the mindset of this Legacy Galvatron. So when they came out in Kingdom, they added all this weird battle damage to the Galvatron toy in order to, I don't know, make it look scuffed up, make it look war-torn, whatever. A lot of people did not like it because Galvatron, above most Transformers, is supposed to look shiny and new. We literally got to see him be created, which is a rare thing in G1. So to add this like really weird like light blue battle damage to his chest and his legs, it put a lot of people off, and a lot of people were complaining about it. So Hasbro put out this thing where we're releasing a second run of Galvatron in Legacy, and we listened to the fans because we took all that battle damage off that you didn't like. See, there's a problem to that. And the problem to that is going to be, we kind of told you already we didn't like the battle damage. We told you in Siege. Now, don't get me wrong. I know there's people out there, and because last time I said it, people that do like the battle damage in Siege. That's fine if you do. But a lot of people did not, and they were vocal about it. And the fact that there are so many tutorials out there in video and text about how to remove that battle damage, and freshen, get the figure looking the way you want, tells me that, I'm not alone in how down I were about the battle damage in Siege. Hasbro knew then that the battle damage was a mistake, and yet 2 years later, they add it back to Galvatron for no explainable reason. There weren't any other figures that run that had battle damage on them. Only Galvatron did. And then the second release comes out in Legacy, and they go, we fixed it. Now, that would be fine. That would be fine. But now it's become a pattern. We have Legacy Soundwave coming out, and it's Siege Soundwave, a mold that a lot of people did not like. And a lot of people were thinking it was going to be the Netflix mold getting a mass release. And yet, here we stare at this same Soundwave, just with no battle damage deco. It is a frustrating thing for me because, A, You have options. You're dealing in legacy here, so you actually did have an opportunity to give us a different take on Soundwave that we haven't gotten at retail before. You could give him a different color tone that matches more toward his darker toy colors. You could give him the Marvel deco. I'm still waiting for some Marvel Comics deco on an official Soundwave toy in that, in the purple and that metal, the like bright, like really faint metallic blue. I think he looks super cool in those colors. And here we are in Legacy, where they have the option to do that. They have the option to actually homage the Marvel comic line, and they didn't do it. It's just straight up Soundwave again. And keep in mind, they haven't announced any cassettes. They haven't announced any partners for this, and he isn't getting any packed in. So we're getting a new Soundwave, but you don't get the gimmick unless you went back and bought the Siege ones. And good luck finding some of them, because some of them were not cheap. So it's a pattern now, and now it's concerning. I'm of this mindset now, thanks to these two. Thanks to these two, that Hasbro is finding a new way of getting a second run of toys out beyond just repainting them. That they know that if they put out a new mold, fans are going to buy it up no matter what, because no one wants to be left out of the discussion. Everyone wants to be one of those who are talking about the toy when it's hot, when everyone else wants to talk about it too. No one wants to be the one who bought it 3-4 months later. Maybe a friend asks you, what do you think? And but that's about it. You can't join in on any discussions because they're all dead at that point. Everyone wants to be there when it launches. Everyone wants to be there when it's the most exciting. So no matter what that toy looks like, no matter what the deco looks like, no matter what features it's lacking, no matter what is short on that figure, collectors are going to buy it, and Hasbro knows it. And then after the fact, they go, well, we listened to you. We're going to re-release the toy, but now we're not going to have the stuff you didn't like. And it's frustrating because, A, it feels like they planned it that way. It feels like that's the intention. And when I see something like this is a toy 3 years old, and they're going to do it here. What it makes me realize is this toy is cheaper than the original. So not only are they not bothering with any kind of redeco engineering, which people have to get paid for. No, instead they're just rerunning a toy and skipping one of the paint applications, which means there's no extra R&D. There's no need to pay anyone else. In fact, it's cheaper to run it now because we've got less machines and materials involved. And it worries me that they've gotten on this pattern where they realize they can release an inferior version of a figure and still get us to buy it, and then get us to buy it again when a superior version comes out. That's what I am seeing with this Black Convoy. Why do you think it is named Black Convoy when they have the names Nemesis Prime and Scourge? Now, you could say that, well, they just did G1 Scourge in Studio Series. They probably wouldn't want to double up on the names. But Kingdom RC is still shelf warming on a lot of pegs that are ready for Prime Universe RC from Legacy. And that's what they would do. It would be RID Universe Scourge. Simple as that. Or yeah, they just do Nemesis Prime. It looks like a Nemesis Prime, so why didn't they go Nemesis Prime? It feels like this is a very specific targeting. Very specific. Where it is intended to be Black Convoy. That's where we get the translucent pink windshields from. But it definitely feels like they are very aware that the version on the left is the version that fans want. They have to know that because that's the popular take on that design. And to actually dodge it and go with a completely different deco than that G2 Prime ever gets, that does set a precedent. That does show that they are intentionally avoiding a proper RID Scourge homage. Which just kind of makes me wonder, yeah, is this intentional? Are they intentionally making this close to what we want, but not actually what we want, just to sell us RID Scourge down the line? Maybe a year from now in Selects or a multi-pack on Amazon, whatever it is, it just feels like this is not the end game. This feels like it is just to get us to buy a repaint and then sell us on the better repaint later. And I kind of hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. See, this isn't really that new for Hasbro to do. Back in the early 2000s, the tactic would be to produce a mold with new colors, new character. You know, back when Hasbro was a little bit more daring and they wanted to produce new characters to keep people interested rather than rehashing the same ones over and over. But what would happen is later on, they would release it again in colors that were familiar to collectors. So they got you to buy the toy twice. The original version because you wanted in on the new mold, and then the repaint because you wanted the nostalgic beat. And I kind of miss those days because at least then you got two different flavors out of each toy. No. I genuinely, I have no doubt the version on the left in this photo is going to come out someday. Either because of Discord and people unhappy about the one on the right, or just because that was the plan from the beginning. Don't know which one, but at some point, I guarantee you, you're gonna get the one on the left. So I don't want to tell you to avoid the one on the right. If you like the one on the right, go ahead and get it, because there is no guarantee. You know, and you don't want to be like, I don't want you to listen to this advice going, well, don't get it, don't buy it, because this is a scheme, and then wind up having to pay $300 to get it later because the left one didn't come out for whatever reason. Hasbro's done that in the past. That G2 Deluxe Optimus that got repainted into Scourge during Generations, it took FunPub to get that out. Hasbro never did it themselves. So, take it for what you will. I don't trust this Black Convoy. I don't. I feel like it's trying to set a very dangerous precedent for Hasbro to get away with more than one reuse of a mold that they really shouldn't be doing. Not this way. Make a Laser Prime, or make a Laser Magnus, make a Toxitron. Make something that will get more of the mold out, but still appeal to a different audience. Hit a different note, rather. I don't trust this Black Convoy. I'm skipping this Black Convoy. And I'm holding out hopes for a proper one to come out. Because I really do not want... I don't want this to be the direction Hasbro goes in. I want them to be giving us the right figure, the right way, first, instead of trying to trick us into getting both. Because that's what it feels like. It feels like a trick. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just being cynical now, but we've got a history of this pattern now. Hopefully I'm wrong. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.